What can someone do right now to help ED?
One of the first things is clean up your diet. So by that, stay away from sodas, stay away from sugary foods, stay away from too many carbohydrates. That's like breads and rice and starchy foods. Eat clean. So by that I mean try and eat as organic as possible. Get organic meats, grass-fed beef. Eat a lot of cruciferous vegetables. That kind of helps detoxify some of the estrogens in your system and these things we call xenoestrogens from things like plastics and BPA that can kind of detoxify your body. Diet is number one. One of the best things I find is doing intermittent fasting. So intermittent fasting is when you have a period of time when you're not eating. And a lot of research shows if you can do 13 hours of intermittent fasting, that can increase your longevity. So what I tell a lot of people is to start intermittent fasting by finishing eating at 7 p.m. at night, and you don't eat your first meal till 8 a.m. the next day. So that gives you 13 hours. If you can decrease your eating window, that's when you eat from like 12 to 8. The rest of the day, that's 16 hours, you'll be fasting and you'll be burning fat. And then you're gonna decrease your insulin levels.
So one of the specific things that somebody who's dealing with ED can do is just try to maintain a healthier diet and be really honest about what they eat during the day.
Correct. I mean, I think a great way to start is even to just assess what you're currently eating. Before you even change anything, to do some mindful eating work or exercise around your food. And that would be, for yourself, keeping a food log for a few days and then noting how you feel before and after meals. So like after the meal, I felt really bloated. After the meal, I felt really energetic, but then my energy tanked, or I needed coffee or something sweet within 2 to 3 hours, which can be like a blood sugar dip or hypoglycemia, just to see if you're getting the balance and digesting the balance that you need. Sometimes people can be eating but starving at a cellular level. So we can be eating the food, but a lot of times these cues that you'll find in your food log will indicate if you're actually digesting that food too. Like if you've already adopted a healthier diet. But that food log is a great way to also just assess your balance as far as like, you know, maybe if you are getting a blood sugar dip, that need for coffee or sugar or another snack, within 2 to 3 hours, you're maybe not getting enough protein or enough healthy fat at your meals too.
And with the food journal, it sounds like anybody could start doing that immediately.
Oh, right. You could do it today. Whip out your journal right now.
I'll get it started.
Yeah. If you think about what we're doing on a given day, the most every single day is we're eating. Like as far as at least 2 to 3 times a day for most people, maybe more if you're snacking in between.
I'm a snacker.
But yeah, it is the thing that is affecting us and how we feel the most on a daily basis, and the thing that we can have the most like healthy control over as well to positively impact how we feel. But that mindfulness practice starting with your meals, because there's a big chance that not just how you feel right after a meal, but how that meal is also affecting your hormone levels and how you're feeling throughout the day, your energy levels. Yeah, sometimes even when people have, say, a food intolerance to a certain food, they can feel it 24 to 48 hours later. But using that food log, you're able to really correlate symptoms that you're feeling in your given day, like say even like a head cold or sinus congestion, that don't necessarily have to be your norm either, based on your diet. I think individuals will go maybe to the doctor and just say like, I'm struggling with ED, but very rarely is the doctor trained to even ask or doesn't ask like, what are you eating in a given day? And again, that's the thing that's affecting our health the most on a daily basis, because it's the thing that can be changing the most or the same the most as far as how we can influence our own health and our own health outcomes.
What other small changes can I make to my diet to improve ED?
So one of the things that we actually have here is pistachios, and that actually has been researched. If you eat like 3 to 4 handfuls a day, that can help with relief of ED symptoms.
Really?
Yes. Another thing that you could do is when you're cooking, add some garlic. So take a couple cloves and just chop it up. Garlic's in everything and it makes everything delicious.
Oh yeah.
But it has this enzyme that actually helps produce the nitric oxide. So it helps an amino acid called L-arginine, which you can find in like really good quality animal products like chicken and turkey and beef and fish. And when you cook it with garlic, which makes it delicious in general, that will help take this amino acid and convert it to nitric oxide, promoting blood flow. So what you're looking for with any meats is you should be looking either for like pasture raised or grass fed or organic. And if you live in a place that has maybe a farm nearby, buying local is always really wonderful too. And yes, that means you can enjoy ribs and all the classic steaks. That is completely fine. But when we want to avoid those hormones, because ultimately what we intake and what our animal intakes is affecting us.
Sure.
So we want to make sure that we are promoting like optimal hormone balance and not messing anything up.
I never diet because obviously, like,
You look good.
so why should I even worry about it?
Well, the thing is with diet, and it's a word that is thrown around a lot because there's lots of fad diets, but diet is what we're putting into our body, and that's the most important thing. It's not how many calories, it's not how much of a different macro, which is your carbs, proteins, and fats, it's just simply what you're eating, and that is your diet. But I think the average person should just really focus on what you're eating. I think the fad diets will always come and go. So, you know, there's low fat, there's high fat, there's low calorie, there's high calorie. I mean, you name it. There's vegetarian, vegan. But what that does, it keeps people in this diet mentality space when we really should be just having a more natural relationship with food and eating foods that we can either grow or kill. And that is what defines what food is.
Interesting.